This, my friends, is the Sennheiser Momentum 3 wireless headphones. It comes right on the heels of the launch of the IE80S, which is a neckband style earphones that was launched by Sennheiser recently, and a review of which is on our website, link to which should be in the description below. Now, the Momentum 3 wireless, or is it the Momentum Wireless 3 or Momentum Wireless 2019 edition? Well, you know what, forget about the name. What I care about is that Momentum sub-brand. Sennheiser's Momentum sub-brand is known to have great sound signature in their headphones, plus they've always been reviewed well. Now, here's the interesting thing. This is the first time I'm actually testing a pair of Momentum headphones, which is why I'm pretty excited. Let's find out if the Momentum Wireless 3 or Momentum 3 Wireless is worth your money and if you should spend that 35,000 on this. I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone, and let's get our review of the Momentum 3 Wireless started. But before we move on, if you like the kind of content that Mr. Phone makes, where we put out reviews of audio products, smartphones, comparisons, all the kind of tech stuff that you like, then don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out a new video. The moment you take the Sennheiser Momentum 3 Wireless out of the box, you can see that the brand doesn't skimp on the premiumness. You get a soft cloth case, which actually looks like a tiffin box, and for the price I would have actually preferred a hard case. But apart from that, you also get a nice Type-C to Type-C cable plus a 2.5mm to 3.5mm connector. Now, my only concern with the 2.5mm connector is that it has a 2.5mm insert, and 3.5mm to 3.5mm are easier to find. So that would have been better, but apart from that, overall the package itself is wholesome. Similar to the package contents, the design of the Momentum 3 Wireless is also pretty premium. You get this heady mix of hard plastic, metal, and plush leather. You have plush leather on the ear cups and the headband itself, and you have the metal on the hinge and the hard plastic, of course, on the ear cups. The headphones have a fair bit of flex and shall easily stand the test of time for sure. But there is one problem with these, is the fact that they're heavy and they weigh down on your head. At about 300 grams, they're not as comfortable as something like the Bose 700 or even the Sony WH-1000XM3. Having said that, the clamping force is not too tight, so that's okay. But along with the weight, you also get this leather padding, which actually tends to heat up your ears if you are sensitive to that kind of heat. And it's right now cold in Delhi NCR, but when it turns hot, this is gonna definitely heat up your ears for sure. Now, there's one peculiar problem that I encountered while actually testing the Sennheiser Momentum 3 Wireless. Here's the thing, the Sennheiser Momentum 3 Wireless actually plays music when you wear it and pauses music when you take it out of your head, and it works seamlessly. It's possibly the most responsive and the most sensitive one that I've used till date. But since it is so sensitive and it's got swivel cups, it tends to play and pause at whim, even when I slightly move my head around, and that I felt was really annoying. You know what happened after a little bit of usage is that I actually switched off that setting from the Smart Control app that you get for the Sennheiser Momentum 3 Wireless. Having said that, I really like the fact that it is so sensitive and really fast to respond. Now, you get a really neat array of buttons on the right ear cup. It is laid out very well. You get a slider which can switch between 3 different Bluetooth levels, which is basically on, off, and transparent hearing. And the next button is like the play pause button, which is sandwiched between the volume controls. Of course, the play pause also helps in answering calls, and the volume controls helps in skipping the tracks. Plus, there's one extra button below that, which is available in most modern headphones nowadays, and that is for voice control, where you can actually access Siri or Google Assistant, any assistant of your choice. Plus, long pressing that voice assistant button will actually put the headphones in pairing mode. I think that having physical buttons is actually still better than touch controls, because sometimes touch controls on quite a few headphones can be iffy. Having said that, when I did test out the Bose 700, the touch controls were very responsive. So I think over a period of time, interaction design is actually becoming better on headphones with controls on the ear cups. But up until now, I think still physical controls rule the roost. Obviously, I like the physical control, and I really like the fact that Sennheiser has gone with that layout. Plus, That's not it though. Sennheiser actually does do some automatic features, like for example, the play pause thing that I mentioned. Plus, you know what? There is no on-off button. In fact, if you want to switch off or switch on the headphones, you actually just have to fold these and that's it. It's power off. And once you unfold it, it's power on again. So that I think is very well done. Now when it comes to connectivity, the Sennheiser Momentum 3 wireless uses the full potential of the Bluetooth 5.0 standard. It can actually connect to two devices at once and switch between them on the fly. I was connected to my MacBook and my Android smartphone, and I could just switch on the fly with ease, and that is something that I absolutely appreciate. A lot of headphones actually offer you Bluetooth 5.0, but they don't go the full hog, and that I think is really well done on the Momentum 3 wireless. Now as for the audio codecs, you can expect the best of the best, except for LDAC, which actually is available on the Sony WH-1000XM3. You can get aptX and aptX low latency on the Sennheiser Momentum 3 wireless. Now talking about the Sennheiser Momentum 3 wireless, these are almost neutral with a bass boost, sort of a bump in the low end of the frequency range. So essentially for the mids and the highs, it's almost neutral, but then you get this sort of bass boost. So it's not like a warm sound or a U-shaped sound, it's almost neutral but with a bass boost. That is something that I absolutely prefer, and it's really nice when you're listening to a lot of EDM tracks or songs with a lot of thump. Like for example, I tested out Sage by Ritwiz, or songs like Mucho Macho by Divine. All of these songs which have a lot of thump, or for example AWOL Nation's Sail. All of these songs have a lot of thump, like a lot of tight mid bass. This one does it really well. Plus it also does a sub bass really well. So if you listen to songs like J. Paul's BTSTU, these songs are reproduced very well on the Sennheiser Momentum 3 wireless. Now, apart from that, what is excellent on the Momentum 3 wireless is of course the imaging or the instrument separation, which is great across the board. If you've watched my headphone reviews by now, you would know that I always listen to Do I Wanna Know by the Arctic Monkeys, and the separation of the instruments in the penultimate section is absolutely excellent. Now, one of the things that I noticed is that the mids are also phenomenally good, which means in somebody like Benjamin Clementine or Adele, their voice sounds absolutely great. Now, one of the things that I noticed is that the dynamics on offer in a song like Billie Eilish's Come Out and Play is absolutely excellent. So her throaty whispers sound absolutely brilliant, because there are those silences that you want to hit the note on, and that is reproduced well on these. Now, the problem with the Sennheiser Momentum 3 wireless is the fact that the soundstage is not that great. Now, these are closed back headphones, I know that, but I have heard closed back headphones before which come with great sounds, a great soundstage where the sound spreads across the head. Now that is something that is not great on the Momentum 3 wireless, and that could be a bit of a letdown for people looking for a pair of roomy, airy sound on the Momentum 3 wireless. That's not going to happen. So if you have to look at an analogy, then I would say that these sound like two speakers inside a soundproof room rather than speakers in a concert area. So that's what I would say. Plus you of course get those nice woofer rumble from the bass themselves. Talking about soundproof, these do noise cancellation as well, so that is definitely one thing that is good on this. You get decent noise cancellation. It's almost on par with what the Sony and the Bose can achieve. For example, it does really good noise cancellation with the hum of an engine, which is a consistent sound. But with inconsistent sounds like the human chatter, or people talking in the office, or traffic, it's not that great with that. Now that's where headphones like the Bose 700 or even the Sony WH-1000XM3 have started excelling. But the downside to that kind of noise cancellation is the fact that it creates a vacuum in your head, which the Momentum Wireless 3 does not, and I sort of prefer that over the Bose. It gives you a little bit of breathing space when you listen to music, and that's nicely done on this. Plus the sound signature is absolutely excellent, which is one thing that I of course wanted to mention. Now, while I like the sound signature of the Momentum 3 wireless over like the Bose 700 or even the Sony WH-1000XM3, I still think that there is competition out there that can take on the Momentum 3 wireless. It's not the absolute best sound signature out there. For example, the Beyerdynamic Lagoon ANC that I reviewed recently also sounds incredible. Plus you have the Bower and Wilkins PX, which is one of the best sounding noise cancelling headphones that I've heard till date. So it's in the top 3 for sure. Now that was about the sound signature overall plus the noise cancellation. But when it comes to battery life, This gives around 17 hours of battery life as claimed by the company, but I got around 16 hours in my testing time. Now that's not bad, of course 16 hours is a long time when you're listening to music, but a lot of the ANC headphones out there can do better battery life. Like for example, the Sony WH-1000XM3 can easily achieve a full day of battery life without you having to worry to recharge it. Plus, the call quality on the Momentum 3 wireless are not that great. The person on the other end had a problem with the sound, the sound that I was talking in, and they couldn't hear me clearly. So that was a problem. Otherwise, overall, sound signature wise, these are excellent. ANC wise, pretty good. Call quality, not that great. Battery life, good. So this is the roundup of what I think about the call quality, sound signature, battery life and the ANC. So we're at the end of the review, and like I mentioned, the Momentum 3 wireless is priced at Rs 35,000, and for that price it's got an excellent design, great sound signature with a good amount of bass. So if you're a bass head, you're absolutely gonna love this. Plus the noise cancellation is good as well, and the battery life is not that bad either. Now, having said that, if you want better ANC, I think you would be served better by Bose or Sony. And at the end of the day, I think it boils down to brand perception more than anything else when it comes to noise cancelling headphones, since the market is becoming a lot saturated now. Now, with respect to brand perception, I think the Bose and Sony have a great brand perception in the market now. Having said that, Sennheiser also has a really good stellar track record of making great audio products, so they can stand on their own. Now, if you want to buy a pair of headphones for ANC specifically, like I mentioned, Bose and Sony are better. Now there's another reason why I'm saying that, and that's because these are not Sennheiser's dedicated ANC offering. Sennheiser's most popular dedicated ANC offering is the PXC550, which by the way also got an update at IFA recently and is in its second iteration. That should be coming to India soon as well. So if you want great sound, I think the Momentum 3 wireless would be the option for you. But if you want the best ANC competing with Bose and Sony, I think you should wait for the PXC 550 second generation. So what do you guys think of the Momentum 3 wireless? Do let me know in the comment section below. I know this is pretty expensive, and it's a lot of money to pour into a pair of headphones, but that's the cost of most really good noise cancelling headphones plus great sounding headphones out there. That's it from me. I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone. I hope you guys liked our review. Until next time, goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.